Ready?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hello guys, how's it going?
So some of you might remember that a while ago, Herain and I done a video saying that we were basically gonna start doing a few videos, and we didn't do anything, and that was just purely down to us just being super busy, just a lot
on the go,
going on,
business, life,
yeah,
everything.
So how we want to kick this off is that we had asked people a few questions from before. Loads of people were sending us loads of questions. So just so that you guys can get to know us a little bit more, we'll answer some of those questions. We've decided to do videos because we just feel like we do have something to bring to the table, for the fact that we're parents, we're business owners. I'm a working mum. I've experienced also being a stay-at-home mum. We both work full-time, we're Christians, we're married, so we just feel like, you know, there's a few topics that we can kind of contribute to, you know, based on how much debate we have in our own home. Like, we also have a lot of married friends that come to us for advice. Sometimes we just come together and we just talk about marriage. So further along down the line, we'll probably also start asking other people to come in and you know, we'll just have this conversation. And, you know, we'll chill out, we'll vibes out. As you can see, I've subjected Herain to sitting in my dressing room at the moment. You can just see a portion of my shoe collection behind, because I am obsessed with shoes. So yeah, so I've written some of the questions down that people had asked us. So I think how we'll kick this off is that I'll just read out the questions.
And then we can answer from our...
Yeah. Why are you laughing?
Gonna be open and honest.
Okay. So first questions are, what are your names?
Herain.
And I'm Jade.
Walcott.
So we are the Walcotts. Cringe. There you go. So cringy. So how old are you?
26, according to our son.
So basically, I told my son that I was 25. I've been telling him that I'm 25 for like the last 2 years, and he honestly believes me. I turned 31, what,
on the 17th,
2 days ago, and he's basically thought that I turned 26, so that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Like, no one needs to be aging out here, you know? 31, 26, it's all the same. What matters? I don't know why Herain's laughing so much.
Because he's convinced.
He's honestly convinced that I am 26. Like, he argues with my sister, Lolo Jones, all the time. He honestly is just like, no, auntie, she's not 31. Why are you saying that? She's 26. So, how long have we been together, Mr. Walcott?
We've been together a long time. We got married in 2010.
Yeah, but how long have we been together?
10, 11 years.
Something like that. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was looking at him, giving him ag. I don't remember myself.
Almost 11 years.
I would say, yeah, around 11 years.
Around 11 years.
Next question is, how long have we been married for?
That's it.
So in April, we would have been married for 9 years.
And next April,
it will be 10 years.
10 years.
So Herain and I got married when we were 22 years old. Quite young, but we're still going strong. Not without trials and tribulations and us almost hanging each other on the way. But 9 years and we're still here.
So we passed the 3-year itch, the 7-year itch, and whatever they call it, and we're still here.
Yeah. Which is why we believe that we can pass on some words of wisdom there.
Yeah.
Next question is, do you have children? If so, how many? So we mentioned before, yes, we have a son.
Yeah, he's 6.
6 years old, called Tatar. Absolutely the joy of this household, I would say. There's never a dull moment in our house, put it this way. And I'm sure he'll be making some type of pop-ups in our videos at some point. He's even upset that he can't be doing this.
Such a character.
He is. He's very much like me.
Yeah.
He kind of looks half like me, half like Daddy.
Nah, he looks 99%
Whatever. He looks like... So we've also been asked what our religious beliefs we are Christians. We go to church every Sunday. My parents are actually pastors and have their own church. Hayden and I have always been very solid in our faith, in saying that when it comes to our relationship with God, we are very personal about everyone's walk is their own personal walk, even between the two of us. You know, my relationship with God is different to Herain's relationship with God.
So everybody has to have their own experience with God, because I can't say because I do things a certain way, Jay has to do it this way. No, we all have our own experiences, our own way of communicating with God, because God may speak to my wife a certain way and he speaks to me a different way, so we just need to express ourselves individually.
Next question is, how did we meet?
Oh Lord, here goes.
So
over to you.
I'm gonna tell my version of the story. Then Herain can tell his version of the story. So basically, really good friends of ours, I was out with one of my girlfriends and she was like, oh, you know, I'm seeing this guy, we've kind of started talking, he's gonna have like a small little barbecue at his house, like, should we go? And I was just like, yeah, that's fine, we'll go.
And by the way, they're married now. They got married just after us.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Such a fraud. Yeah, so basically, so we went over and we was just chilling there. It was a really hot day and I wanted to just get out of the shade, so I was just basically just chilling in our friend's bedroom. Herain turned up, came in the room and introduced himself to me, like really briefly.
I just said hi. Yeah,
he literally poked his head around the door and he was just like, hi. And then I basically heard him drop, tuck and roll down the stairs.
Basically, no. Alright, listen.
No, he dropped, tucked and rolled down the stairs.
I ran down the stairs.
He ran down the stairs and went into the garden to speak to our friend. Little did he know
the window
was wide open, so I could hear the whole entire conversation. And he was just like, "Who's that girl on the bed?
Who's that?"
And I was just sitting in the room, just like, oh my god, you know. And I would say, yeah, pretty much. That's just how we met.
And then I started to pursue.
The pursuit was strong.
Yeah, it was very strong because she didn't like me in the beginning, basically.
He just used to, I don't know,
cringy,
annoy me.
Because I liked her so much, I didn't know what to do with myself. So
everywhere I was, he would pop up.
Basically, alright, listen here. Everywhere Jade went and your friend was there.
Yeah.
My friend would message me and say, come, Jade is here. And then somehow I would just...
Herain would just pop up.
I would just pop up.
He was just making up these pop-up appearances. Yeah. And I just remember, like, one day I was just messaging because I got so used to it. I was like, you guys tell me the truth. Like, is he going to be there? They were like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm not coming. Because he just keeps on just popping up. For ages, I wouldn't let him have my number. And even when I did, I was like, oh, I was so cringed about the whole thing.
Yeah, it was so cringy. I remember... on our wedding day, our friend told a story about how...
in his speech.
Yeah, in his best man speech, about how I got the number. And basically, it was...
This is so cringy, guys. We had gone
in a cab.
No, we had gone to the park and we was in the car.
Yeah.
On
our
the way
friend was
home.
driving home, yeah.
Herain was sitting in the back next to me. And there was another friend in the passenger seat, and Herain basically leant over to me and was just like,
can I see your phone for a minute?
And I was just like,
oh,
why? But the joke of the matter is that as I said why, I basically had already gone like this.
See, because I hypnotized her, so she already wanted me.
Oh, what a cringe bag.
She wanted me, so how come the phone was already
I gave him the phone, so as I said why, he was just like, because there's a number missing.
Oh.
And I need to add it to your phone. And at that time, our friend who was driving the car,
he was slapping my leg.
He leant back and just went like this on the leg.
What are you doing?
Because it was just the cringiest thing ever. But had he had not done that, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I'm glad that with your cringy, cute ways, that you roped me in.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have what we have now. look who's decided to make an appearance. Say hi, Kitty.
Yeah, so that's how we met in a nutshell. And then from there it's just relationship building, communication, and just growth, really.
Yeah. So the next question that we had is, how did we know that one another was the one? So how did you know that I was the one? How did I know that you was the one?
Well, put it this way, when I was 15, I had a dream that I would be getting married to someone, but in the dream I didn't I didn't see her name. I saw the color of her name, because the name is Jade, and it's like a emerald green, so that's the color I saw. And then when I ran upstairs at her friend's house and I saw the dream just flash before me, even before I knew her name. So then that's how I knew. It was like, oh.
And then when he went downstairs and I could hear their conversation, and he was like, who is that on the bed? And our friend said, that's Jade. He was just like, literally straight away, I'm getting married to her. Like, I could literally hear him telling his friend that he was going to marry me, and I was sitting upstairs on the bed like, sorry, excuse me, marry who? Like, I didn't even want to even be in a relationship, so to even hear that kind of talk, I just was like, no, I'm not really here for it.
It was one of those moments that, like, I couldn't describe it. The dream just came flooding back to me, and I just had to pursue, because I knew you are the one.
Cringe.
Yeah, so that's me anyway. That's how I knew. And then
yeah, and then I think for me, like I said in the beginning,
she never lied me.
I wasn't really that interested. When I had first met Harain, and we've said that in our videos we're going to be as honest and as candid as possible. We don't really like to talk about this, but I was in a very bad abusive relationship before I had met Harain. So my headspace was just that I just didn't want to be with anyone. I didn't want to have to go through what I had gone through. It was a very traumatic experience for me. And I remember as Harain was like pursuing me, and then I had that honest conversation with him, and I just said, you know, I don't really want to be with anyone. This is what I've gone through. And I remember the first thing that he said was, I don't care. Like, I will wait as long as it takes for you to heal and to be okay. And I think at that point, I was immediately attracted to him for the first time. So I've had this guy kind of like chasing me, turning up, like buying me random presents, and we hadn't even exchanged numbers yet. And then just having that honest conversation with him, hearing his support, and him just saying, look, like, I'm not going anywhere, like, I know you're the one for me. I just feel like I just fell in love with him straight away. I just thought anyone that is going to see me in my broken state and love me as I am is someone that deserves a chance. And, you know,
really,
I don't know what this cat is doing. She's like dragging my shoes down. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, I had to give him that chance. And Harain was very different for people that I had seen in the past. I wouldn't say that I had a type, but Harain was kind of like, he was the good guy. And I always seemed to kind of go for the guys that weren't right for me. So it was like, okay, do you know what? I'm going to give the good guy a chance. And it worked. You know, I fell in love with Harain, and I remember my sister just moaning and saying how cringy that we both were, because we were just spending so much time together. Everything was Harain this, Harain that, like every day he was at my house, you know, and then the rest was kind of just history from then. Love you, baby.
I love you too, baby.
Role play, Ben. Action.
Yeah, we just thought that we would let you know a bit about ourselves, kind of ahead of the type of content that we want to be bringing forward. Like as I said before, you know, we've been married for 9 years, we're parents. I've experienced being a stay-at-home mum, but at the moment I am a working mum. Harain and I both work full-time, and we are business owners. So we feel like we have something to offer. Like we said, of the conversations that we are constantly having with people, we tend to also get quite a lot of young couples coming through, who normally come round and say, you know, come round for dinner. And we get like a lot of the young couples in church come in and asking us about marriage. We found that when we got married at 22, we had no example. Our example of what we should follow as a married couple was my mum and dad, who are pastors of a church, you know, almost at that stage in their life where they had kind of forgotten that they were once our age. Sorry, mum and dad, don't be offended. You know, and I would say that Harry and I kind of started our marriage trying to be something that we weren't. And we kind of had to get to a point in ourselves where we were just like, well, why are we trying to be like, you know, married couples in their 40s and their 50s when we're only 22? And that is why I would say one of Hareen and I's strongest mottos is that in marriage you have to make up your own rules. What works for your parents, what worked for your grandparents, your best friend, your sister and your cousin isn't going to work for you. You know, so another married couple might look at the way that Hareen and I do things and think, oh, we don't necessarily agree with that, but I just don't care. You know, we've got to that point where we're like, as long as we are making one another happy, that is pretty much all that matters. What we want to try to bring forward is a lot of the tasks as well that we do when we're at home, you know, understanding different love languages, how did we cope, you know, being married and then having our son,
how the dynamics changed,
how the dynamics and all that stuff, changed, how do we find it balancing our time, you know, being parents, working, running a business, going to church, having to keep up our social life. You know, a lot of these things that, you know, for some people it comes to easy. With us, we've struggled through some of that, and we just feel like,
just share.
Why not just share our experiences, even if we just help just that one couple that are going through that struggle. And by no means are Hareen and I perfect, and like we said, we do want to be really open and very candid. We've had moments where Hareen has had to go and stay at his mum's, or I've had to go and stay at my parents' because we've literally been on the brink of we are not doing this anymore. What we focus on now is the positives. We focus on the love, we focus on, you know, what makes us happy as a couple, and that's what we want to share with you. You know, we constantly have friends that sometimes come to our house and will then ask us questions, and we're just like, we find that everyone's always talking to us about marriage, and people are always like, just do a video, like do videos, share your experiences. So here we are, not knowing what the hell we are doing, never done this type of thing before, so, you know, bear with us. We hope that you receive
from this, and
from what we have to offer.
So we're just going to share, be open, be honest. We're going to talk about daily life. Well, not daily, but you know what I mean. But we're going to just be open. We're going to give like our point of view, our suggestions on like how to manage, you know, like conversations, arguments, things like that. And because it was, well, it's
been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie.
It's been a struggle.
Guys, I feel like both of us are stubborn, but you're stubborn for what you believe in that moment, and there's nothing wrong with that, I would say. But the key to making your marriage work is the compromise. I would say it's the understanding, okay, I'm stubborn, I'm believing, and I'm sticking to my guns, but at some point you're gonna have to come together. So it's how do you then get past that to make sure that it works, you know, which is why we want to speak to you guys. I know one thing that Helen and I really struggled with, which was kind of going to bed with bad vibes. You know, we've had to really work on how we manage that. I would stay up all night and Hareen would just be like sleeping sound. Like, and I would just be staring at him with daggers because I'm just like, I'm up and I can't sleep. So I'm like, how come it genuinely used to stress me out. I'm being serious.
I know. It's like I can't just fall asleep with anything.
With bad vibes. Like, how can you sleep with bad vibes when your wife is like literally like upset and laying next to you, giving you like stares?
It's a bad vibe, but I have the way my brain works, I can just switch off. I can just put things to the side and sleep.
But we're gonna make a whole entire video on this because I feel like this is one thing consistently that when we speak to other married couples, this
keeps coming up.
comes up. It comes up. It's like a continuous thing. You know, arguing, going to sleep, arguments continuing for a lot
For the next
longer
day, yeah.
than they need to. You know, and it doesn't.
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Long way.
There's been moments where but yeah, so like we said, we hope you receive from our videos. Please stay tuned. I'm not going to put pressure on us and say that we're going to be bringing out weekly videos or monthly videos, but we will do our best to keep this consistent, because we believe this is something that we should be doing. Like I said, even if it is just to touch that one couple who can receive,
it's worth it
from us. It's honestly it's worth it. And plus, I think we enjoy it. We enjoy looking back and reminiscing.
It's quite therapeutic for us.
It is. I feel like it helps us as a couple.
We're all work in progress, so no one is perfect. I'm not perfect, and yeah, so we just have to try and keep developing. And don't put yourself down when you feel like, oh man, I'm not getting this marriage thing. I can't get it and all that stuff. So, but you just have to just do your best and be open.
Both of us. And I feel like in a marriage, you know, it takes two to tango. Fire with fire doesn't put the fire out. No, let's wrap it up. We hope you guys have a blessed week, a good week, and we shall see you soon.
Yeah, we shall see you soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And keep loving each other.
Yeah.
Keep listening and communicating to each other effectively. And just express, have fun. Yeah, don't forget to have
Peace
fun.
out.
Peace out. I'm gonna go cook. I'm hungry.
Cook. I said have fun, and you're talking about cooking. See you later.